Oh, it's such a beautiful Sunday. Thank you again for 100 plus subscription. Actually, took a look at my what do you call it? I don't know how many people there subscribed to. And it's been a little bit over 110. So thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is it's a bit of a response. Now, the interesting thing about being let me take this off for a moment. Now, one of the main reasons that I am a enhanced brother of the blade, I love knives and swords, is based upon you know the the call to being a warrior, and also not that mythologies, whether it be it Homer's Odyssey or something as simple as Japanese anime. Now, where am I going with this? I'm going with this because guess what? I'm a big fan of Japanese anime. To be honest with you, the first anime I've ever watched in my lifetime was Dragon Ball Z, and this is back I think about 19, maybe around 1993, 94, when Dragon Ball Z first came into like America, and it came in back and forth. It was just a peel off. It was just a peel off era, and then it kept showing reruns of that. But ever since I saw the episode and I saw Goku and everything else, I was a big fan of freaking Japanese anime. And that's another one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of when it comes to blades, especially Japanese katana. I thought Japanese katana was the greatest sword on earth. Now, me being the emphasis when it comes to the blades, you know, I freaking got interested when it comes to different blades, such as, the Ganoting sword, the broadsword, the Gorka Kukri, the buoy, which I freaking love more than anything else now that I have the person to get one in my hand. But you know, it's all based on mythology. In our current mythology, in fact, the biggest mythology we have when it comes towards blades is anime, especially the One Piece anime or manga. Now the thing about it is I do both. I read the manga and I watch the anime. And if it's kind of no surprise, my favorite character happens to be Roronoa Zoro. And I bet you most of you guys who are freaking knife enthusiasts or freaking enthusiasts when it comes to swords, if you do follow and watch One Piece, your favorite character is probably Zoro too. Now, the biggest rivalry when it comes towards Zoro is the cook, Sanji Vinsmoke, the freaking nepo baby of freaking anime, which I call the so because guess what? All the people who are fans of freaking Sanji seem to think that hell his powers are based on him working hard. And not beyond the fact that hell he was genetically modified. But hell, we're gonna go into that a little bit more because guess what? If you're a brother of Blade, most likely you're a big fan of Roronoa like I am. And what does that mean? Not only you're a big fan of swords, knives, you're also a big fan of ale. Just like I am. I'm gonna fill up this cup. I'm gonna drink a little bit more. Because a couple of minutes ago, I kind of got into it, a bunch of fans of Sanji, which is fine. If you're a fan of this guy, it's just fine. The only problem I have when it comes to this character is that it's just one thing he said back in Dressrosa. And hell, it's a bit of a political move when it comes to me, but it spoke what it was. Because the funny thing is, back in Dressrosa, Sanji wasn't my least favorite Straw Hat when it comes to this anime. But when he made this freaking quote, he became bottom of the barrel when it comes to Straw Hats when it came to me. He said a woman's tears doesn't lie. Support this cup a little bit more. A woman's tear does not lie. Oh, really? Can you talk to Tawana Barley? Can you talk to the guys that are in Duke Lacrosse? Can you talk to Johnny Depp? Oh, my little girl. That's sexy. She never leaves me alone, but I love her to death. Hopefully she doesn't become one of these chicks that let the lie when it comes to her tears. But hell, false allegations is a thing. Guess what? If a woman can't lie behind her tears, she will. And that's one of the main reasons why I hated freaking Vince Smoke Sanji. It's kind of funny because, hell, we found out his last name was around the time he said the same quote. But let's move on. And this was the Dressrosa arc, and here's a very interesting thing when it comes to it. I have been a die-hard freaking Zoro fan since day one. Ever since I've watched the second episode of One Piece, because somebody was telling me how great the series was. First time I watched the series, I really didn't care two shits about Monkey D. Luffy. I didn't care about Kobe. It wasn't until like the other episode when they revealed Rono and Zoro, and I was like, yes, this was the man right here. This was the man. And throughout, he's been given so many increasing moments. Who doesn't remember, if you're a One Piece fan, of nothing happened when it comes to Bartholomew Kuma? And a lot of people love to say that how he was gifted his abilities, he was gifted this. I was like, no. Rono was always the exact definition of hard work and motivation when it comes to your craft. Because hell, his motivation is pretty much becoming the greatest swordsman in the world. What is Sanji's freaking motivation? He all blue. And to come to think about it, it's not even his main motivation, because hell, he's willing to give it up just to have a bunch of nice, pretty boobs in his face. But hell, let's go with that. All blue, that he's willing to freaking cook every fish. But hell, his motivations are freaking come to second when it comes to his obsession with women. And when it comes to a warrior, your obsession with women is your weakness. You know why? I'll go ask Samson. Go ask current males right nowadays. The weakness when it comes to all the males is women. And we gotta stay focused. Guess what? The woman has to freaking be more into you than you are into him. And hell, I didn't know that until about later on. Because hell, he would have talked to me about 10 years ago, I would have been the same Pride and Wisconsin when it comes to Sanji. But now I'm a little bit older and married, and now that I'm a fouled brother of the goddamn blade, I'm a bit sharper than I was yesterday. And sharpness is based upon guess not what. Not when it comes to your blade, but also when it comes to your mind. And this is why I am not a fan of Vince Smoke Sanji. And that's why I'm such a big fan of freaking Ronos, because he earned everything he was given to him. Now, I actually put a bit of a comment when it comes to a post when it comes towards Vince Smoke Sanji and when it comes towards Rono Zoro, the real badass, the foundation of the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, we're gonna go back when it comes to time. Do you guys remember Water 7? If you're a One Piece fan, you do remember that. Who's by Luffy's side the entire time, Zoro. Who opposed him? Usopp. But it wasn't just Usopp. You know who also opposed him? Vince Smoke Sanji. You know why? Because don't you remember when Luffy made the captain decision? Okay, guess what? We're going to abandon Merry and we're going to move forward, because guess what? Our goals are to get to the New World and get a new ship. You know what was against that? Usopp. And when he told Usopp that, guess what? You better get down and lay down. Who kicked him in the face? It was Sanji. Sanji kicked him in the face and said, "Hell, you better worry about what you say." And I always thought that was freaking. I never liked that. You know why? Because who the hell are you to freaking tell your captain that? To tell your freaking sniper or what, or forgery carpenter, hell, you get down or you lay down. And guess what? He ended up getting a new ship, and guess what? After the whole War 7 song went through, they saved Robin, everything else. Usopp wanted to join back. You know what happened in that arc? Luffy heard about it. Freaking Nabi and Chopper thought about it. You know who's the one to stand up when it comes to respect? The vice captain, classified vice captain, Roar North Captain Zoro. He said, okay, he could come back, but he better fucking apologize. And he stand on business, not only for himself, but for his canon, because he made the promise that, guess what, he would not lose. Because guess what? If he's willing to be the Pirate Queen, he's willing to be the greatest swordsman in the world. You cannot be the Pirate Queen unless you have the greatest swordsman in the world. And that's why I love this guy so much. His motivation. Everything about him is freaking incredible. His hair, his height. It's just funny because, hell, he's 5'10", and I'm 5'9". I guess I'm about an inch shorter than he is. But hell, I love this character. 3-sword style, everything about him is beautiful. Well, let's get back to War 7. He was willing to stand in business. He was willing to go against his freaking navigator and started to say, guess what? He could come back, but he better apologize. And if he doesn't, guess what? I'm going to be the one that leaves. Because guess what? That's vice captain shit. And standing on business beyond a shadow of a doubt. And to tell you the truth, that's cemented my likeness when it comes to the character to hell. If the story was not about Monkey D. Luffy, if it was all about Ron Norris, I would freaking still watch it. In fact, I'll probably watch it even more because hell. Because Monkey D. Luffy is not even my second favorite. Hell, my second favorite character when it comes towards One Piece is Ace. And to tell you the truth, if they would have led away Ace, it probably would have been a little better. But what can you do? But let's move on. Now, let me get a drink of this. See, swords and ale. It comes together. Swords, ale, knives. Beautiful. Now let's move on. When it comes towards the Sanji fans, I didn't notice that a lot of them are a bunch of what they call simps. And a lot of people freaking goddamn glorify the image when it comes to women. I see them for what they are and not freaking hold them down to who they are. Us as men, we're there to hold down the female species. We're there to be worthy of their love, but guess what? They need to be worthy of our love too. So we're willing to simp for them. We're willing to act for them regardless of the whims. I guess nothing comes across that. It goes back to the whole, a woman's tears doesn't lie. Yes, it does. A woman's tears does lie. It's up to a man to freaking goddamn move above and beyond that to see if her tears are truthful or not. And for the most part, it isn't. It's just stereotype manipulation. Now let's go beyond that. It's more ale. When it comes to Sanji, he's genetically modified. Now a lot of people are gonna say, well, he earned his stripes. No, he didn't. He never earned any stripes. He was genetically modified from the day one. Now people are gonna go like, well, his mother did this whole thing to freaking get rid of his ability to freaking have the unnatural abilities that his brothers and his sister did. I say no, it didn't eliminate. It delayed it. Because later by later, because literally from each chapter, he progressed. And all this was unlock what was freaking delayed by his mother. His mother did not freaking get rid of the whole thing. She just simply delayed it. And it showed to his fullest potential when it came to the Wano era. And who was he fighting? Was he going against a badass or something or somebody who was a unique species like friggin' our boy Roronoa's on. Come to think about it, even before that, Zoro was fighting with, guess what? Two of the emperors. He was with four of the other worst generation. He was with Law, Luffy, Eustace Kid, as it was five, which includes freaking Killer and him. All five of these guys were going head to head with two of the emperors, Kaido and freaking Big Mom. Was Sanji anywhere to be placed? No. So, what was Sanji doing? He was there getting freaking trapped by a freaking tarantula chick. While he was being freaking entangled by a freaking female and trapping him when it comes to a freaking spider's web. What was Zoro? He was going against the big boys. He was going against big tier fighters. Big Mom. Strongest beast in the world, Kaido. While he was fucking around with and trying to freaking get some freaking trash in the chick freaking give him the nose. Pathetic. And then who was he freaking sparring with? King. The second hat to the freaking Beast Pirates. That's the Kaido. And what's Sanji going against? Queen. A fat brontosaurus guy who was a scientist just like his daddy, who just symbolizes what Sanji hates. And guess what? He was a fat scientist. He wasn't a warrior whatsoever. He wasn't something significant. He was just a guy that freaking loved to freaking be a nerd. Get out of there. And people love to say, well, Zoro, well, he was gifted all of his swords. No, he wasn't. Well, to be honest with you, yes, he was gifted his swords. It was without any reasons. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the script. I'm gonna look up all his swords that he was given. In fact, I'm gonna do Google search when it comes to. Let's go take a look at Zoro's swords. Alright. Let's take a look at it. Let's go from his first sword. In fact, it's not really his first swords, because he was gifted his first swords, guess what? By the grandfather of his master and by the grandfather of his rival and the father of his master. The swordsmiths, which I could look up, but I kind of don't want it because I'm going to make this a little bit shorter because we're about 18 minutes with it, so let's move on. But let's go for his first sword. Wado Ichimoji. Wado Ichigo is a white sword that he keeps in his mouth all the time. He was gifted this by his master. Why was he gifted this sword? It used to belong to his old rival and best friend. And they all had the same goal, being the best swordsman. She passed away. And hell, he was gifted the sword, guess what? Guess what? His master knew that he would become the greatest swordsman because that's what he was motivated. Even though Zoro lost every match when it comes towards his daughter, his master still saw us. Guess what? Yeah, he beat him. But guess what? You have a couple years of advancement. Guess what? If you two were about the same age, you would probably lose everyone. Because guess what? She was way older than she was. He was an adolescent. She was a teenager. So guess what? Paternity hasn't hit Zoro yet. So guess what? As soon as Paternity would have hit Zoro, he probably would have beat her in every freaking match. But that didn't happen because she ended up passing away. And good thing about him is that he was willing to freaking keep her, not only his dream alive, her dream alive, because they both had the same dream. So guess what? The Wado Ichimoji was gifted to him. Let's move on. Sanai Ketetsu. Sanai Ketetsu, along with Yuba Shiri, were given to him by. Actually, Sanai Ketetsu, he was not gifted the sword. He bought the sword. This was a sword that he freaking bought based upon his aura. It had a bunch of bad luck. Even the shopper said, and this is back when they were in Longtown, that this sword had a lot of bad luck. And guess what he did? He tested his luck, and guess what? He passed. And he bought the sword. And guess what? The shopkeeper was so impressed by the aura of this guy. And this is why I go back by. Guess what? He was not gifted this. He earned this from his aura, his will, everything else when it comes to this character. His drive is the reason he was gifted all this. And it was not based on talent. You know, somewhat it was. But hell, it was his drive to freaking be the best. That freaking gave us all these gifts. And hell, as soon as he passed the test when it comes to luck, when it comes to Senai Kentetsu, he was getting Yuba Shiri, which was given by the shop owner. He later lost the sword just because of a devil fruit user Marine's ability to rest. And then he was gifted another sword after that, Shusui, which was given to him by who? Ryuma, his ancestor. He didn't know it at the time. It was said to be the greatest sword in the world. Gifted to him by after he fought against his corpse, his reanimated corpse in freaking Throw Bark. He fought against him, and guess what? He earned the right to freaking hold the sword. And people are gonna say, well, he was gifted to Enma. No, he wasn't. It was a trade-off. He showed out Sui for Enma. You know why? Because even though he was the descendant of Ryuma, even though he didn't know it at the time, he wanted a new chance because guess what? This man wants to be the greatest swordsman in the world. And guess what? His captain wants to be Pirate King. He wants to be gifted a sword of one of the greatest samurai in the world, which is Kosugi Olden, which is Enma. He was willing to freaking trade it off. Unlike Sanji, who was genetically modified, salute, and got all his abilities as soon as he fought against guess who? Not a swordsman, not a fighter, but King, a freaking scientist. He's not a fighter or anything like that. He's not the most badass son of a bitch. He's a freaking scientist. And from what I've heard, he is the father of freaking Frankie. Which makes sense because both of them love to dance. But let's move forward. To all you freaking Sanji fanboys, I say this. If you love this character, go ahead. Go ahead. Like him. Because a lot of you guys embody your characteristics when it comes to him. I know you love being beat. You love a woman that wants to run over you. You don't want to be the dominant one. That's just fine. Hell, we got a place for you guys. But at the same time, you let your woman freaking run over you, freaking set the standards when it comes to everything. Not when it comes to Zoro. Look at all the girls that freaking go against Zoro. In fact, I remember just the other day, there were a bunch of female YouTubers. They did like a One Piece bang or bus when it comes to it's like I'm not sure if that's what I call it. A lot of the females when they came towards the characters that they would love to have sex with. Strangely enough, a lot of them want to do Do Quixote, Do Flamingo, which is kind of weird because you feel it. But here's another interesting thing: a lot of them really wanted to freaking bang Zoro. You know who's the one guy that they didn't want to bang? Sanji. You know why? Because women do not like a guy who wants to try so hard. They like a guy that's just chill, laid back. They want a guy that freaking they want. They don't want a guy that wants them too hard. And that's the weird thing. That's the quote-unquote nature of the beast when it comes to women. If you fight too hard to freaking gain their attention, they tend to like you less. You fight very less to get them. And guess what? You have the manly aura that they have. And guess what? They're willing to come to you like lice to fly. That's a lovely ale. Some Mexican Sylvester right there, but hell, this is probably a very long thing. Oh, we're at 25 minutes right here. Hey, hell, I hope you're getting your money's worth when it comes to Mika. So, thank you again for the 100 plus subscribers. It's been about 112 from what I've seen, and hopefully we can go above and beyond. Let's freaking build determination when it comes to blades and freaking brawn. But with that being said, I'm going to hit you off. I don't even want one of these. One of these. Because that's just one. One of these. Plain age. Let's do a full pocket shot. Let's get every knife that's in my pockets right now. You'll be surprised about what I could pull off right here. It's rated Tawar. That's on the left. What do we have on the right? A plain Tawar. Let's keep it on. Let's go. Let's go on when it comes to the left. Spider XL. Red or freaking whatever you want to call this color. Let's go on when it comes to this one right here. This is the gray. Lost 10A Espada XL. We ain't done yet. We're not done. One. Count them. Count two. Back towns two. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, we're not done yet. Hey, we got a couple. These are cargo pants. These are cargo pants. So here are the cargo pockets. Come on, get out of there. Plain and serrated edge counterpoints. Are we done yet? Are we done? Are we done? No, we're not. Think of on your left. The mayhem. Heard you guys were asking about the mayhem. Here it is. I serrated it a little bit. Let's go to the right. Limited edition Oz, as it was not Oz 10A. S35VN blacked out in midway with a snag of tooth. Mayhem. Let's move on. So we ain't done yet. We ain't done yet. Let's take a look at the back pocket. The Ultimate EDC. The Recon 1 XL. 5.5 inches of freaking badassery. We ain't done yet either. The Twilight Chris. Cold Steel. Representing for all those. And representing for freaking for all those who are willing to be a fan of the Three Sword style. And not only that, we have all these blades right here. The hell, we're gonna end it with this. Because guess what? We're all fans of Zoro or Zoro. So guess what? I'm gonna hit y'all with one of these and beat you all. Good Lord.